So Zack Snyder and Warner Brothers seem to be at it again. One big spat after the other. We all remember this. This sort of dropped up on Twitter. This was in response to Warner Brothers clamping down on Harley Quinn, the animated series. A scene where they were going to show this. And then Zack Snyder decided to tweet it. But it turned from this to this. What? It's so very strange. It's so very strange. So you might wonder, like, why am I talking about this specifically? But I think this is indicative of all of those sort of rumours and rumblings going around that, they're going to reinstate Zack Snyder's universe and all that kind of stuff. And no, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. It's such a strange response. It's so very odd. So if you didn't know kind of what, the sort of background of this situation is, it's this. There was some basic comments made by Justin Halpern, right? And the comments weren't crazy. It was that DC were like, hey, we don't want to have a scene between Batman and Catwoman, right? Strange. It's strange for a few reasons. They said it was inappropriate. It's an adult animated series. How's it inappropriate? There's a few things to consider here, and this excerpt of an article does it reasonably well. It was apparently inappropriate for one of their top IPs, merchandise sellers and things like that. But it's an adult animation. So the people that are watching it should be familiar with those, the acts that they were going to be depicted. And I don't know. I don't get it. Look, I kind of get it on one hand that they stepped in. They obviously, they can protect their IP however they want. And I get that. I fully understand and appreciate that. But to say that it's inappropriate in an adult animation is almost lunacy. That series is quite it's quite brash with the stuff that it has on display and the stuff the sort of language that's involved in it and things like this. So it's strange that they would deem that inappropriate anyway. And to me, it just signifies that although it's an adult animation, their aim is obviously not purely just adults. They know that kids are probably going to watch it, and that's fine. Like, I get that. But when your main sort of narrative is, it's inappropriate, it's just too inappropriate, we can't show that to all those growing adults. Top merchandise sellers for kids, but we can't show that to adults. Why? Super, super dumb. And then obviously we had Zack Snyder share this and said canon. But then he got hit with this. There was massive pushback on social media anyway, and obviously Zack Snyder did that. And then he got hit with this. Now, this would have been this would have been manual. Someone from Warner Brothers, we can imagine it's Warner Brothers, unless it's the actual artist, because we don't know where this image came from, right? So we need to understand this before we get into the ins and outs of whether it is Warner Brothers versus Zack Snyder and all of that nonsense. We don't know where the image specifically came from. It could have been something that Zack Snyder commissioned. It could have been something from a comic. I don't think it's from a comic by any stretch of the imagination. It could have been concept art for the Harley Quinn series. We don't know, do we? But this would have been manual. Someone from that department at Warner Brothers, or whoever was behind the image, the artist, would have manually taken this down. They would have requested this to be manually removed based on their own feedback. Now, if it's Warner Brothers, why? Why? What are you doing? It's so petty. It's so petty. And then obviously Zack Snyder responded with this over on Vero. If I advance, which is just a screenshot of the tweet saying that the copyright holder had asked to have it removed, and says, if I advance. I don't understand what that is. I don't know what that means. But it's this sort of weird, almost like a boys' club spat. You know, like people in the know what these things mean, and other people are like, what are you talking about? Very, very strange circumstances. But I thought I would discuss this because realistically, like, what does this indicate? Well, one, it indicates that DC is super dumb. Because it doesn't matter if, you know, it's one of your biggest merchandise sellers. If he's, you know, going down on Catwoman, it's not going to make a big difference. It's an animated adult series. Like, who cares? That's not going to affect your merchant. It's not going to affect your bottom line. Like, never in a million years is that going to affect your bottom line. No one cares about that at all. It's not inappropriate. Is it, I guess, slightly out of character? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's an animated series for adults, so what's out of character in that context? I don't know, really. So, obviously, they're just way off base. But then this sort of discussion that... And they do the rounds all the time with, you know, certain people on YouTube, is that, Zack Snyder's coming back. The Snyderverse is going to be restored. Discovery, you know, merger with Warner Media. That's it. They're gonna bring back Zack Snyder. I don't know about that, guys. I don't know about that. I think this seems to indicate the contrary. As sad as it sounds, but it also just seems really petty between both of them. Actually, like they both seem really, really petty. You know, Zack Snyder didn't have to post it in the first place anyway. Like he's being a troll by doing it, which is funny, but it's still petty actions all round. But it is very, very strange. So I think this, to me anyway, again getting to the point of the whole video, just seems to indicate that they have both absolutely split ties, because we see this pettiness rising to the surface every now and then. You know, you had Deborah, I think it was, I don't know, Zack Snyder's wife going, yeah, no, we haven't been told figures. We don't know the numbers, actually. Why didn't they tell us? You know, viewing figures for Justice League and things like this. There's just sort of this underlying current of almost passive aggressiveness between both parties here. So I would definitely indicate this is definitely never going to come back and happen again unless there's bucket loads of money involved. Because of this strange underlying passive aggressive pettiness. So what do you guys think about this? What do you make of this? I always just say, you know, don't believe the hype, don't believe this, you know, the sort of spin doctors going, yep, that's it. Discovery's going to save the day. Discovery Warner Media merger, it's going to save the Snyderverse. I doubt it massively. I genuinely think that is done. But let me know what you think down below. Cheers. Take care.